to this spot and he showed them the land. He said, now this is the land that you should go in and possess. Now here is the thing that threw them off. How you going to give me a land that people living in? That don't make no sense. You swore to my granddad and my great-dad that this land is mine, and you going to take me and show me. One of the worst things a person can do, is show you something you can't have. I wish I had somebody in here who's going to talk with me today. Have you ever had somebody take you for a walk and show you something you fell in love with that you can't have? And you say, boy, I bet I didn't see that. Because that thing going to play in my mind for the rest of the little while. So these people were shown the land. And they're saying, yes, you say it's mine. But there are some giants over there. Anyhow, God has given them the land without them having to break a sweat. They would have never appreciated it. You think about it. You have your children, and everything you give them, they never take care. I told you all before, my daughter, she went through that phase where she was trying to get in every name brand stuff. Saw me bought my wife one of them Michael Kors bag. I don't know why they cost that expensive, but for some reason my wife wanted one, and I said, okay, well, the lady stayed with me for 20 years, and I'm not that easy to hang out with. So my daughter came down. Her birthday is coming up, her 18th. Now here this little young girl. Dad, I want a Michael Kors bag. I say, you sure do. Now, here's the problem I had. She was working back. I said, why don't you use your money to buy your bag? She said, no, I'm not going to pay that much money for the bag. So she knew the value of the money when it cost her. But she don't know it when it was going to cost me. So I realize now that when I buy her stuff, the way she treated is completely different than when she spent the money for it. Because you'll always take care of something that cost you something. So God said, I'm not going to put you in a situation where you don't appreciate where you are. And one of the things that Israel was ungrateful. They never appreciate what the Lord have done. They've seen it all, but yet they were ungrateful. Do you know where you have a lot of ungrateful people? Ungrateful. So he said, listen, I'm going to give you the land. I'm going to give you the land, but you are going to have to go in there and fight for it. Now, God began to speak some things that you don't want to forget. He said, I'm going to give you houses that you never build. I'm going to give you a vineyard that you never plant. Here's the thing you can't forget, though. If you're going to get a house that you never build, it means somebody else build it. So it means now you're going to have to fight for it. The challenge is we don't want to fight. That's where the church, we are having our problem now. Can I tell you something? Everything in your life, you have to fight. Can I tell you something? You have to fight to smile sometime. You have to fight to be happy. You want peace. You don't have to worry about fighting to keep your job, because that's a norm to us now. You have to fight for every area in your life. There is a fight. You know when purpose is in you, because it seems as if every hell around you break loose. Do you hear? I was talking to somebody today, and I was still talking about Moses. I said, Moses got out in this wilderness, and he thought he had seen the worst. Or the Egyptians start saying, we don't want you here. And he thought that was bad. But what happened when your bad turns to worse? See, some of y'all never experienced that, Some of y'all never. Have you ever been in a situation and you say, like we Jamaican, this cannot get any worse than this? Only to find out that you'll discover worse. Let me tell you something. You be careful, because what you think is bad for you, You walk out the street and see somebody else and you'll be able to say, boy, now that's worse. Learn to appreciate where you are. Every area of your life, you have to fight. You have to fight because you have to fight. The biggest fight is with you. Because let me tell you something. If you don't learn how to talk to yourself, if you don't know how to rebuke yourself, if you don't know how to tell yourself, you cannot have that. I had to taught my wife that, I said, love, you got to tell yourself when you're in the mall, I am not there with you. So tell yourself, I cannot afford it. I don't need another pair of shoes. I have a black shoes already. Tell yourself. Convince yourself. Talk yourself. Come home and tell me, I talked myself out of buying a pair of shoes today. You got to be able to tell yourself, I'm not picking up the phone. If I pick up the phone, I'm going to get myself in trouble. Talk yourself out of it. Anyhow, they say you talk to yourself, you're losing your mind. But let me tell you something. If you don't start talking to yourself, that's when you're going to lose other things than just your mind. So you have to learn how to talk yourself out of certain things. There are some things, my friend, that you must realize that is strategically placed to get you. And you have to fight to get through it and to figure your way out of it. Now, let me just say this. So the first thing they realized was that the land is there. It is mine. Anyhow, you're going to put up a good fight. You must take ownership of it. We're talking about we're going in to possess the land, mommy. If we're going to possess this land, we have to start thinking like how you did. That this land is ours. This is the apostolic church. This is where our foundation. This is where we are. And we're going to fight for it. Anyhow, we don't own it. You know why we have so much wishy-washy Christian in church? We don't own this thing. We don't act like this is part of us. We don't, and if we're not careful, we're going to have a washed down thing to give to our generation. Because there's one thing you can talk about our fathers and our mothers was that they own this thing. They would die for this thing. We don't own it. And anything you don't own, you will never fight for. Make somebody walk in and take away your wife. Some little demon come in and with their little fake this and take away your husband. Huh? It's yours! With all of the stuff you've been through with this, help him to become somebody else going to just walk in and just flash their little fake this and come on, man, come on. Come on. My wife always tell me, listen to me. If you go in, I'm coming. Sister Walter, Sister Shirley said, if you go in, if you're talking about leaving, remember, make sure the room where you get can't fit two of us, because I'm coming. And nobody leaving, nobody up in here. God gives you to me. I don't care what's going on, you belong to me. And I'm going to fight for it. It's mine. Where is your fight? The church have to realize you have to have a fight. You cannot walk. You have to fight to worship, Yes, sir. Lord have mercy. Have you ever been in a service where the body say, I will not move? And you figure, and if you don't talk yourself into getting up and clapping your hand, and halfway through it, your spirit catch up with your body, And because you know how it works. You know how it works. You don't have to worry about your body. Because your body will go where your mind and your spirit is. So if I can get my mind to start thinking worship, somewhere along the line, the body gonna get up. And said, since your spirit and your mind is already worship, may as well I join in with you. Hallelujah.